Hi everyone, Kill0-byte here from the future. Just wanted to let you know that we record these episodes ahead of time. So by the time we recorded this episode, we hadn't reached our goal for subscribers, which was 500 subscribers. But now I want to say that we did. And thank you so much for the support. We really appreciate it. And we will be making a post about the giveaway here soon and once the new year starts. So keep an eye out for that. And again, thank you so much for the support. We really appreciate it. And we love interacting with all of you and reading your comments. Thank you so much. Now, I don't want to keep you waiting, so let's continue with the show.
Commencing Operation Conclusion again. Yes, I know. I too was hoping we would finally get a break from the single memory track minds of Onyx, Clickbait, and Kill0-byte. But alas, here we are again, pushing out more content as if it's going out of style, like all those Star Wars series on Disney+. Speaking of which, I should catch The Mandalorian Season 5. I hear Pedro Pascal takes off his helmet again, but this time it's all uncanny CGI. Well, I better get to it. Enjoy the show.
Hello and welcome to the podcast where we are currently recapping, well I guess this is the final one, recapping the events of the Transformers IDW 2019 continuity. I am Onyx Prime with my two wonderful co-hosts that have been with me this entire journey. Couldn't have done it without you.
Hi, I am Kill0-byte, the greatest Prime.
Well,
and I'm Clickbait.
I hear the Earthlings enjoy Amazon Prime the most, but we'll see.
I will bring him down.
I've heard
Do
that
it.
too.
I hear he needs to be brought down. Moving on with our comic discussion for today's episode takes us to IDW 2019 Transformers Review. As always, spoiler warning, so if you haven't read any of the issues, what are you doing here? Come on. So, spoiler warnings. We highly recommend you to go back, read the comics, then come listen to the podcast. As always, our goal is to reach 500 subscribers, which by the time this comes out, we might have hit it. Which, of course, if we did, congratulations, everybody. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome. We'll be holding a brand new kind of giveaway, if we haven't done it yet. We've never done before, so click that subscribe button. Tell your friends it's a good time. Now, onwards with the podcast. With that, Clickbait, do you mind giving us the fun facts and trivia about the series we are discussing about for today?
Absolutely. Let's get started with some facts about the series. So the number of comics in this series, it ended up being 43 issues with 2 specials, 1 annual, the 12-issue Galaxies tie-in series, the 5-issue Escape tie-in series, the 4-issue Wreckers tie-in series, and the 4-issue War's End tie-in series, and finally, the final issue, Fate of Cybertron, bringing the total comic issues in this series to 72. The first comic in this series was released on March 13th of 2019, and the entire series concluded all the way in June 29th, 2022, following IDW leaving the Transformers comic license and passing it on to Skybound Entertainment. Our trivia for tonight is going to be Transformers makes extensive use of Generations toy designs, notably from the War for Cybertron trilogy, including toy mandatory features such as protruding hinge covers, screw holes, and 5mm peg holes. Characters without Generations figures generally utilize the most recent alternative, aka Cyberverse at the time, or their original Generation 1 designs. Notes from artists state this is not a Hasbro mandate, but rather for consistency purposes. And back matter for Fate of Cybertron bonus-sized issue includes a brief farewell note from IDW's editorial team thanking readers for 17 years of support. Although IDW's Transformers output will continue in a reduced format through the rest of 2022, the remaining 2 issues of Last Spot Standing, the second installment of IDW's Shattered Glass reboot, and a number of one-shot compilations, this comic marks the end of the 2019 IDW continuity, and by extension, the last issue of IDW's final Transformers series. Rest in peace, IDW and Transformers.
Rest in peace.
Yeah,
they can always come back later.
I mean,
maybe.
I hope they come back
see.
later, because they've done such a great job with all the series they've produced.
Yeah, I'd like to see more eventually. Kill0-byte, you got some summaries?
Yes. This iteration of IDW's Transformers mythos follows its predecessor by taking place within the Generation 1 continuity family, and features the return of multiple of IDW original concepts and characters mined from the prior universe, and tweaked to fit into this new universe. A universe where we follow the first days prior to the major conflict we know as the 4 million year war for the future of Cybertron. And as always, this information has been taken from the wiki. As always, a special shout out to all of our patrons. Thank you so much for the support. You guys are all awesome.
You guys rock. Shall we get started?
You shall.
Let's do it.
So, I think as a series retrospective, I think it's best if we sandwich these things. So let's first start off on a high note and talk about our favorite scenes or favorite things we enjoyed about this series as a whole. I'll start us off. I really enjoyed the themes for this continuity. They gave us something different that we haven't gotten to see in others. The lead up to the war, the tensions that arise when trying to keep the peace, and most importantly, who ends up getting hurt the most during war. We know the civilians, bystanders, and our friends. And I really enjoyed seeing a lot of the characters we normally don't get to see in any continuity or media gain some of the spotlight, like Road Rage, Cliffjumper, Elita 1, Flame War, Slipstream, and a handful of others. What's your guys' favorite likes?
Would you like to go clickbait, or do you want me to go?
Either or, Kill0-byte, either or.
I'll go next then. I really enjoyed the writing in these comics, the focus on the different interaction between all the characters, especially Termagax's view on the whole Rice take in what Megatron is doing. I really like the themes they covered. Onyx mentioned who gets hurt in the war, in the ugly side of it, right? Well, it doesn't have a pretty side, but like the side we normally don't see. And I thought that was a good storyline to tell and a good take on the Transformers world and story, because we normally see it when the war has already started and they've been fighting for years. This was like the beginning of it and how it all escalated to the point where Cybertron is lost, and that, I thought that was amazing. The art, as always, has been amazing. IDW has amazing artists, so Rot Star for you guys. The characters and the perspective, again, I've mentioned, but we got to see some new characters that normally are not touched upon or are in series. I like seeing the obscure characters, and the cast was just phenomenal between all the issues that we've read.
On that note, I agree with everything you guys have said. I loved that we saw, early days of civil unrest all the way up to full-blown civil war. I thought that was really cool. There were a ton of great scenes, so much good writing, so much wonderful artwork. It was really visually nice in all aspects to read these comics. I loved anything and everything that had to do with the lore. We got so much lore. I mean, I think you guys, it's almost a little too much lore at times. We got lore on the original Primes.
What are you talking about?
Don't even come at me. Okay, like I was very much enjoying this, and then you guys would say, "Oh, it's too lore heavy. It's too much information."
I never said that.
You literally
I love
said
the
that.
lore. I love the lore. Onyx was the one who was like, it's too much
Never
lore.
find that.
I
Literally.
love lore. Give me all the lore.
In that case, yes, give me all the lore. So we got lore on the Primes, lore on early Cybertron, lore on a few of the kind of individuals who had religious influence on Cybertron, War of the Threefold Spark, and tons of characters and their backgrounds that we got to see who we hadn't really been familiar with before. I also loved how their transition from civil unrest to civil war, they showed the key players shifting very relatively realistically. They showed how quickly power can corrupt, and Megatron went from just a politician who was a little bit too brash and a little bit too brazen to somebody who had become completely corrupted by power and his lust for power. And how Optimus was practically thrown into the role of a Prime because he happened to be willing to try and do good, and willing to try and become the individual who would oppose that power-crazed madness. So I thought that was really fun. The entire arc in and of itself is very reminiscent of that. As darkness rises, so must light to meet it. And I feel like they did a really great job with it. So much fun. And personally, everything that had to do with one of our couples that were featured, my favorite is probably Knockout and Breakdown, and then it'd be a tie between Nautica and Road Rage and RC and Greenlight. It was so nice to see them working together to be with each other, and that was really cool.
Nautica and Road Rage was pretty great.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were adorable.
So now we get to the part where hardest to talk about. It's like the weakest points. It's not really our favorite topic. We like to keep things positive around here, but it's not without its, what's the word?
Flaws.
Flaws, right. So I think we should go in reverse order this time. Clickbait, would you like to go first? Yeah.
Oh, Primus, sure. I think the biggest flaw that this entire thing had was probably that, reading the first half of these issues, they're setting up so much. It feels like they're setting up what the 2005 continuity ended up being. And it seems like they went into this whole arc with those expectations, and they planned for this series to be much more drawn out and much longer. And then when they got the news that they lost the license, they had to condense it all down for a sudden end. It felt like they'd been spending so much time building everything up, and then in 2 issues, the bad guys were defeated. And we never really saw any additional fallout or any additional character death. As sad as those are, we never really got to see the consequences of all these things that they'd been building up for 10, 12, 15 issues. We never got to see it. I think that, in my opinion, is the biggest problem with what the series was. And then some character choices within the series didn't make sense, but those were a lot smaller issues than the big overarching boom done kind of thing that happened.
Right. Kill0-byte.
For me, it was kind of hard to find weak points. I know when I did reviews, I gave some comics some low scores, but for the most part, the reason why they got the low scores were they didn't really contribute anything to the story. I feel like it didn't add anything. It didn't propel the story forward, or it didn't even set up anything for a possible plot points in future issues. And that was my biggest problem with it. It was it felt like they created stories, but they didn't connect them right. And and on the other hand, I don't want to give the fault to all the writers, because I know when they lose the license, it could have been a shock and they weren't prepared for it, and they did what they could at the moment and try to salvage what they've already had written, and maybe some of these issues were already in production and being printed. But it's just like a 50-50, because I know at one point they lost it surprise, and the other they just maybe didn't prep for that possibility. And maybe if they would have written the issues in a way where if we lose it, then we can stop here, and if not, we can just continue here. And then they had some more information to make it feel flow better. That's my big weakness part of the continuity.
Yeah, no, those are good points. It's looking at the different perspectives.
Yeah, I feel like it's hard. I don't, I'm not part of that environment of making comics, and I don't know how well in advance you're aware of when you're going to lose a license, if you're going to lose it, and how to prepare. But I think that's a good idea, for us that we write D&D stories and stuff like that, that always prep for cutoffs that you're not expecting, right. And then maybe have something else to write or some more information just in case it doesn't stop there, and you can kind of push it a little bit more.
Yeah, alternative routes just in case. Yeah, it gets more complicated with D&D sometimes, but I don't know.
Yeah, I was trying to say when we write stories, right? But we don't do books. We do D&D. Yeah. But for writers out there, I guess, write your stories in a way where they get to an end that feels satisfying. But if it continues, then you have a backup and you can continue from there.
Yeah. Now I'll continue a little bit more in detail what Clickbait was saying. A lot of the plot points either felt rushed or never had time to complete, such as the threat of X-Archon felt rushed, the Sunstorm abilities that never seemed to resolve. They felt like they're really building into it, but it's, I don't know. The Wrecker series, the follow-up with Minerva and Knockout, it just kind of got left behind. Jumpstream and the Parallel Universe mysteries, that felt like that was setting up for something greater. Dia Atlas coming back. I feel like we saw him come back and then we never saw him again. It was supposed to be a big deal. The origin of Sound Blaster and then whatever was going on with Alphatron and Ultra Magnus, it seems as soon as they came back, no one saw them again. So it's kind of like those small, it's the subtle things too. Like you can put a little bow on there and you had a little bit of time for those things because they're like the Wreckers, it was like three volume, it's technically one volume, but a lot of issues in between the Dial Atlas and whatnot. Anyway, even though the series had a lot of characters at the beginning and throughout each issue, which I love to see as a longtime fan, it comes at a cost where if new readers were to pick up this issue, I feel like they might be overwhelmed by the sheer amount of cast. And I could see it easily, if you're a first-time reader, some of the bots, you'd be like, well, this bot looks like that bot. I thought this person was that person, stuff like that, and trying to keep up with names. Where it's like, we've been fans for quite some time. I'm not going to disclose how long. But like, we know characters in the background that don't even have a dialogue in the series. Like, I think we pointed out like Override and the Wreckers. We pointed out several other Seekers or other characters throughout the series that don't have dialogue because we know them. Yeah. But it kind of needed to be a slower build. I think we needed to focus more on a few bots. I know in the beginning we focused mostly on Bumblebee and Rumble, but there was still a lot of other characters we were following at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, let's go back to a high note and talk about the things that are great, like our favorite characters of the series. And I think we should have Clickbait go first.
Me? Why are you having me go first again?
Oh, wait, not Clickbait. It's Kill0-byte. I think we should have Kill0-byte go first. My bad.
Wow, I see how it is.
There's so many good characters, but if I have to choose, I really enjoyed Termagax being an original character, and I hope that they get more stories in the future because I think they were really well written, and the backstory between being Megatron's mentor and how Megatron kind of lost his way and the mentor's trying to kind of not necessarily fix it for him, but they're trying to understand what's going on and kind of try to convince him to veer from this path. I really enjoyed them. Javelin, I really enjoyed them in IDW 2005. They didn't do too much. They were there for an issue between some emotion, I think, barnacles or something like that, that Rodimus killed. Nautica has always been my favorite, and I really enjoyed seeing Slipstream with Team Stream. I don't think they did too much,
Team Stream,
but I've always liked her character design, and I think the first time I met her was in the Cybertron video games. I think she was a pre-order or something like that. So I was like, okay, I like this Seeker and I want to follow them more. And then I got the card in the DCG, so it's my favorite Seeker.
It's a nice selection because I think a lot of mine overlap with yours. I really enjoyed a lot of these characters. Like, I don't know if I can just pick one, but my favorite is Flame War, hands down, followed closely by Road Rage. I don't know, it's just the
Flame War
blunt
shocking
attitude,
nobody.
Shocking no one, and all the female Titans we got to see, like Lodestar, Leviathan. There was another one that's escaping my brain because we only saw them for like an issue or two. There's a theme. There is a theme, but but no, I like the Dia Atlas arc, the little bit that we got. How he was like, no, I don't want to fight other living beings because we're all connected, and then that quickly got tossed away because we gotta also defend ourselves against those other people. It makes sense. Yeah, I guess that's what I have. All of these characters are great. These are just my favorite, and I'm biased.
Yeah, no, I agree. All the characters were so wonderful. Each one had so much going on with their personality. It was so much fun to get to know each of them. It was so hard to pick, a favorite. I'm always very partial to Optimus and even him as Orion Pax. But I particularly loved Nautica in this. She's so fun. She's so cute, and I love her. And also Skywarp, who is completely the other end of the spectrum from the previous two characters. But I loved that. I love that they gave him a little bit crazy. Okay, a lot of it of crazy. And I love that. And he just shows up and Starscream is like, "Oh my God, you're back! I see you're back." And nobody seemed surprised, but they all seemed very annoyed by it. And then also Six Shot because he's gorgeous and I love him.
That's fair.
Yeah, no, there's so many like Ricochet and Hot Shot.
There's a lot. Like, what was it? Diamond? What was her name?
I want to say I was almost said Crazy Diamond, but it's not Crazy Diamond. Trick Diamond.
Trick Diamond. Yeah, there's a lot of good designs too, and like every character stands out. There's not a single character that acts like another character. They're all their own person. Even the Seekers, who look almost the same but slightly different colors, they all have different personalities, and it was great.
And then props to the writers because this was a big cast and they managed to give unique perspective.
This is bigger than a Marvel cast.
I don't know if I'd go that far.
Well, but even the Avengers world's only like 20 people, you know.
Yeah, but they always stood out their own way.
Series with the Man of Iron. Or is it Steel or Iron? I can't remember.
Well, it's the guy who dresses up as his favorite can of soda. I think it's Pepsi.
Pepsi Man. Yep.
Pepsi Man. That's what it is. And he fights outlets.
Isn't there like a beetle guy now or something too?
A beetle guy? I hear they have a guy that crawls walls, but you know. Should we move to Rodstar ratings?
Sure. Let's do that.
Do that? Okay. Who hasn't gotten a chance to go first?
You, I think.
You again.
Me?
Yes.
All right. I think I'm gonna give this one a solid 8 out of 10. It's pretty good. It does have its faults here and there, where like some of the stories don't have conclusions, or some of the stories don't impact the full narratives, or have any like you could take them out of the equation and nothing would change. Like the Halloween special, which you know we do love our Starscream, but it does nothing. 8 out of 10, pretty good. Would recommend. I would probably read it again in the future.
Who knows?
Who knows? We'll see. Who knows? I'm probably gonna be reading another series after this. We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go and give it a 7.5. For me, It started great. It hooked me on. I was excited for it, and it kept me excited to go to the next page and figure out what happened. But then slowly through the middle of it kind of fizzled out, and then I was just reading it to see to get to the next issue and see if it did something else. But I started losing my excitement for it as it kind of some of them were not moving the story forward, and it just felt like I just read filler of them just talking to each other, and that's about it. So 7.5.
It's called background Kill0-byte. Background.
Yeah, but there is a time and place.
Building.
Yeah, there could still be some action between
the middle,
the backgrounds.
Apparently. We got the lore and the character building. Oh my god!
I love the you got a lot of opinions here. What's your rating?
It has to be something to want me to go to the next page.
Yeah, lore, character building, and background information. It doesn't all have to be action packed. Okay, they're allowed to have discussions about trivial topics. I mean, okay, the first murder in memorable history. I'm pretty sure that's considered action packed. Like that 8 people died in the first couple issues. Okay. Anywho, I really enjoyed this series. Yes, it had its faults. Yes, it had its drawbacks. But overall, it was really fun. It did a lot. Like I said, in the end, it had a lot of catching up to do, and it could have come full circle a little bit more. But it established so many independent, individual, unique characters, so much beautiful, colorful lore and character background and information. And I had a blast with it. I even think that the Halloween special provided background into the inside of how.
Goodness,
that's where you're wrong. That's where it fizzles out.
No, it was okay. Look,
this is just biases because you like Seekers.
It's my turn. I have the talking stick. It really is my turn. You're correct. Anyway,
you're holding your alcohol
and a stick. I have 2 hands.
There's nothing in your hand.
Says you.
Kill0-byte, do you see anything in her hand?
I think Clickbait is drunk.
I think she's drunk. Okay, but listeners, what do you think of these comics? How many Rodstars?
Whoa, did I even actually? I never gave it my Rodstar rating. I never got that far. No, I didn't.
Well, let us know.
Anyways,
in the comments
listeners,
below.
I would give this series an 8.5 out of 10 rod stars for numerous reasons. And yes, just numerous reasons.
Numerous reasons, and we'll leave it at that with no follow-up. Anyway, Clickbait, would you like to give us the last quick quotes of the series?
Absolutely. You guys know what time it is. It is time for Clickbait's quick quotes. Arguably the best part of every time that we post one of these videos. Anyways, starting off, our quick quotes for the night is going to be from issue 26, Declaration of... is that the actual title? Did I put that in there? That's strange. Anyways, issue 26. It is going to be... They were talking about Optimus when he chose to become a Prime, and they were discussing whether or not he was actually worthy of the title. And I believe it's Ironhide talking to another bot about Prime. And he said... But he faced a choice when the Matrix came to him, and in that moment, he chose to try. And I feel like that mentality right there that they identify in that quote is what really led Optimus to be able to push through it and to lead the Autobots through all of this terrible stuff that's happening to their planet and their homeworld because of Megatron. And then the next quote...
It's like, it's kind of reminds me of what Yodeler said from the Warstar movies. Just do it.
I don't think that was quite how it went.
Okay.
I thought that was a cannibal that
confused, Onyx.
Some sort of cannibal.
How many drinks did you have?
Oh, just the one, but I keep getting refills.
We're just pouring them. It just keeps getting filled up. Oh, my premise. Anyways, our next quick quote comes from issue 33, and we are in Swindle's bar. I forget what I think it's just called Swindle's. And he's talking about Six Shot. And he's not a fan of Six Shot, unlike some of us. And he goes, what a ray of light. Illuminates everywhere he goes with his enthusiasm and positivity. We're not there yet. Anyways, so that was fun.
What is that? Okay.
What does that mean?
I don't even know. Anyways, our final quick quote leads us to War's End issue 2, and it is Skywarp, and he's speaking to Megatron after he has been with Shockwave and Exarchon /Flatline. Found out some information. He figured he didn't want to be on that team anymore. Teleported over to Megatron, and in very much your sleazy used car salesman vibes, goes, hello again. Can I interest you in some Exarchon-related information? Totally gives an off. Can I interest you? How does it go? Car's extended warranty or something like that?
I am calling you about your car's extended warranty.
Yes, that one. Yes, the human saying. Yeah. Anyway, I thought it was fun. It didn't have a lot of depth to it, aside from he was going to be influencing potential outcomes of this incoming battle, but it was still a lot of fun.
Thank you. Thank you for those quick quotes.
Listeners, I was only allowed to choose 3, but I have so many more.
Where's the squirt bottle? Hold on. But listeners, if you would like to get in contact with us, you can send us an email at swervesbarpodcast@gmail.com. That's SWERVESBAR podcast@gmail.com. So, we are now at the conclusion of the show. We're going to talk about toys, any recent toys, and then we're going to talk about future projects. But let's go talk with our toys. Talk with our toys. Hi, Toy. Yeah. How are you doing?
Hi, Toy.
Kill0-byte went through a couple of Ross's. You took the express train, Astro Train, and you found a Ross that had 2 Shatterglass Flame Wars. Yes, and you were gracious, and you told me about it, and you got one for me, and I appreciate it. And she's been on my desk the whole time. Fantastic. That's the toy I have. Flame War is awesome. I don't know if you can tell. I can now die happy.
Now you need to get a room, okay?
Well, Onyx said that there were 2, so guess I got the other one.
You did?
My privates. Yes. Double date. So, it's a double date.
Yeah, so I like it. Kind of flimsy a little bit in some of the joints for the clipping on the legs, but other than that, I think it was a very better value than the original price.
Oh yeah, what was it, like 44?
$44, yeah. We got it for 14, so that was pretty good.
Yeah, she's not a big toy, folks. Well, Clickbait, anything new on your end?
I do. I have a lot of new things, but we're gonna keep it to one.
my-
Keep it to
please.
one. Yes.
We'll be here all night.
I will only tell you we would be actually. The stack in my drawer is getting quite high of bots. Anyways, my favorite newest addition is my Transformers Legacy leader class, Dreadwing, from the Transformers Prime universe. He is very nice. It's one of those. If any of you have the Transformers Prime First Edition Bulkhead, how he just transforms into this really compact, solid vehicle mode, I get those same vibes from this Dreadwing toy. It's super fun. He transforms really nicely down into that compact jet, but when you put him in bot mode, he's big, he's tall, he's got his little machine gun, and the plastic is really nice and sturdy too, which I really like. It's just a fun toy, and one of my favorite characters from the show. So
Couldn't tell. I don't think you've ever talked about them ever in any of our, after recording chats.
I don't know if I even have.
You certainly have. Certainly have.
Yeah.
So, listeners,
I was gonna say that the stack of toys over there some of them are mine too.
Actually, yes, some of them are yours.
I know
yes.
one big one is mine.
Yeah, that one is sitting in this room because I don't have room for it in the other room.
It takes up a lot of room. All right, listeners. So we just finished an entire continuity. Yay, we did it. We did it.
We did it. Yeah.
Copyright strike. So now we're going to take a little break. We're going to take about maybe 6 weeks or 8 weeks. We'll see how things go. We're going to get caught up on some other projects, finish some other projects, prep for some new ones, and then we're probably going to do a new release schedule, but we'll let you know on our social medias when we get closer to that timeline. But for now, here's the list of our potential next reads. King Grimlock, Beast Wars, Shatterglass Part 2. Yes, it's been a while since we did Part 1. Star Wars. Is that what that says? No, it's the Trek Star. Trek Star versus Transformers. I don't know what that is. Dreamwave 2002. So it was the first continuity of the IDW before they were called IDW. We have G1 Transformers, or we can get started with the Skybound new series, which
probably would be slow because they're just
starting out. I think there's only one issue out officially at the moment, so we'll probably wait until there's a few before we even get started, because we like to do volume recordings. But if there is a series you would like us to read and review, let us know. Leave a comment below. We'll see it. We see everything.
Yeah, we could do shows as well eventually.
Yeah, we can do shows. I like shows. Shows are cool.
Yes.
Is there anything else from your guys' end? Any project you have? You want to throw your, what was it, the humans say, their boot in the race?
Well, I can't take a boot in the race because I don't have boots. But
I don't know.
I've been wanting to play the 2001 or 2002 Armada, Transformers Armada PlayStation 2 game. So that'll come into the Swerve Bar plays eventually.
Oh, that'll be fun. We haven't done a video game in a while.
No, so that I'm excited for that. And then just waiting on news for Reactivate and some of the other projects that they have for video games.
Hopefully they bring everything back. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
How about you, Clickbait?
If we did anything, I mean, I suck at video games. We could always review like some of the novels. I love the novels. I've read most of the novels. There's Exodus, Exiles, Retribution, all of the movie novelizations. There's plenty of material to go off of. I just got 3 more of them.
Wow.
Full Primus.
Yes.
We'll be here all day.
They're so good. They're so great. Or shows. I'd be down to do shows too.
Cool.
If you guys did video games, I would just watch and judge.
We have a lot to talk about. We good? We satisfied with the conclusion?
I think so.
I think so.
Fantastic. So, if you've enjoyed this episode, consider sharing it with your friends and subscribing. If you want to help the show out even further, we have started a Patreon. All the proceeds go to supporting the show and keeping the lights on. Of course, we have other forms of gratitude. Where are the brain processors today? Some tiers that offer other forms of gratitude, such as 3D files, entry to the Discord channel, and a pin. And probably some other stuff here on the side, here and there. You'll even get early access to our comic review videos, a week before their public release, and D&D. Also, we have a goal to reach 500 subscribers. We'll be holding a brand new kind of giveaway we've never done before, so click that subscribe button, tell your friends, it's a good time. And as always, thank you so much for tuning in. You all are fantastic, and we appreciate every single one of you, including you in the back. We hope you are all staying safe out there. Thank you so much for listening. Till all are one.
All are one.
All are one.
Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Swerve Podcast, and even on Tumblr. Yes, with everything going on Twitter, we figured we should cover our bases. Speaking of which, you can also find us on Twitter at Swerve, if that's still a thing. If you're interested in more content, try checking out our spin-off D&D series, Transform and Roll Out. Season 3, titled Eons, is now available. Let's tune in to a preview now.
Roll me in athletics with disadvantage.
No.
Did you just refer to another life form as a trophy?
Wow.
Is that what I heard?
Wow.
That's messed up.
You hurt so many of my friends.
Clickbait reminder, Mantix.
I
his
can't
voice
talk.
box doesn't work.
I was so excited. No.
I'll look at Mantix and be like, should I continue? We both hate him.
He's gonna
We
sign.
both hate him.
Oh,
Would it
trust
be
me,
a
I want
bad
him
thing?
to die as much as you do, but maybe he can be useful first.
Then I'll leave one plug on.
Hi, my name is Domina. I'm Celeste. I'm trying to keep the water over to my keyboard.
Leave me alone.
And I turn
It was
into a
one
Naboo starfighter.
time.
And
Sand everybody's optics. Be careful.
I hate sand.
Oh my god.
It's rough and it coarse and gets everywhere.
What a bunch of nerds.
Exactly. She's just staring deep into your eyes
Okay.
as she fights against you.
I'm gonna stare into yours.
We're staying campus now.
And donkey. Gross.
Scorchamus, what's happening?
I'm strapped.
Scorchamus.
Just a snort.
I like your dog.
Proceed.
I'm sure I killed you. How are you here?
Why are you chrome now?
The other one's makeup was popping, but their mental health was dropping.
Oh my god.
I can translate if you need.
Oh, no, hey, back off, man. I'm a scientist. I can speak sign language.
She puts her hands up like, it's fine, it's fine. Mother, maybe you should come here.
I love nobody's like helping Mantix. They're all just like smolder my child.
You think I could stop Starscream? I'm sorry.
And then they turn green. We'll see in a little bit, Smolder.
Aww.
Wow, you actually eject from the chat?
Yeah.
They have to do it.
Man.
Tripped and fell into the space bridge.
They tumbled and went through.
Gracefully tripped and fell through the portal like a ballerina on the ocean.
Well, that was certainly something. There is also a YouTube channel with bonus content, such as video games containing funny comments and trendy shorts. A link will be provided below. And if you're so inclined, you can support us on Patreon, where you can get even more bonus content, such as reading files, access to their Discord, and listen to the content before it's released to the public. More links will be provided below. End transmission.